Bow, Banger Management Fantasy Hockey Podcast. Woo!
Woo!
Okay. Woo! I don't even know what inspired that. What
was awesome.
Was it Igloo Fest? Was it attempting to be happy despite Mathieu Olivier's stuff? Which,
Let's not talk about Mathieu Olivier today. We have serious business to talk about, and that's in the past.
Yeah,
we're gonna leave that in the past because I want it to be in the past. So.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Welcome in to Banger Management, the Fantasy Hockey Podcast with Jake, Josh, and Kevin. Today is going to be the day that we're going to talk about.
I'm so glad you said that.
18.
Every time I think he's going to say it in my head.
Yeah,
it finally happened.
I got you. Week 18, buy low, sell high. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. We are there. Give this video a like on YouTube. Oh, about podcasts, rate us 5 stars. Also, if you've been enjoying the show for the past few episodes or months, just give us a 5-star rating. It really helps grow the community, and we would really appreciate that. Also, give the video a like on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. It's basically like rating 5 stars. It's just a button. That's it. Truly helps us out a lot, and we really do appreciate the support. Join the Discord community. You can see the link to that in the podcast description. A lot of fun vibes there, and all the socials can be found in the description as well. Shall we start with our 2 weekers? Sorry, go ahead.
Yes. Well, I obviously have a Proface because I always have a Proface, but I have 2 Profaces.
2? Oh my God.
One Proface is... I would really love to see.
Sorry.
yes. Don't forget Daily Motion. Obviously, I have 3 Profaces. That was one. The second one is I would really, first of all, appreciate in like the community and just I really want to see if this can happen. But our like Spotify rankings have been like going up and up and up, which is like really cool to see. We just hit 70 reviews on Spotify. And I think all of them except 1 are 5-star reviews. So if you're that one, I'm so sorry. But if you're listening to this, like we have a lot more people than he still give us a 4-star review. So listen, he was just like, love the 2 hosts, but that one guy. But we have a lot more people than 70 listening to these episodes. So I would really appreciate it if I just want to see how many more we could get, because that's honestly really cool. Like we're approaching on 100 ratings, and I think that's just really fun, and we've come a long way. So if you're listening to this and you haven't rated the podcast and you hear Jakey's speech every time and it goes through one ear and out the other, like take a moment right now and be like, listen, I think these guys have given us a lot of good content. Maybe we can do them a solid and rate us accurately. If you feel like it's 5 stars, give it 5 stars. If you feel like it's 1 star, just like skip to the next part. And don't do that. But
yes, please only rate us if it's good. Otherwise, don't take the time.
give us no. I feel like people know that we're always here for like the constructive criticism, and like we always try to make the changes that you guys want to see and stuff like that. So
yeah, you know what? Rate us what you feel like you want to rate us, and then come in the Discord community and tell us why you rated us that.
I thought you were going to say like, and then come to the Discord community and say that to my face. Oh, damn it, I swore. Sorry.
That'll get believed. It's fine.
That's why I thought you were going with that. I'll be waiting with a crowbar in the parking lot for all those 4-star and below reviews.
I'm out here with Mathieu Olivier, Jeremy Lauzon, like they're gonna show up. They're gonna be like, "Yeah, we don't like what you've been saying about us."
All right.
Yeah.
What's the second Proface?
Okay, no, the third Proface is when you say today is gonna be the day. I just had a moment of like, I hope everybody's seen Good Will Hunting. If you haven't, 5-on-5 star masterpiece, etc. masterpiece. But for those who have seen it, minor spoiler, but Ben Affleck gives a speech like Matt Damon about like how like he's always wishing that he's gonna like drive up to the house and one day and he's gonna like knock and he's not gonna be there, and like he's just like always waiting for that moment. That was me this morning when Jakey was just like, today it's gonna be the day. I was just like always hoping that it's gonna happen, but in the back of my mind it's like it's there. Then it happened today, and like full circle, everything comes. And I was happy.
I miss my calling in life as a super genius janitor turned mathematician.
Yeah, honestly, hey, there's still time. I mean, yeah, I love it too. Wonderwall used to be my go-to karaoke song, so definitely big fan.
Over
and
Africa
I've seen it live.
Toto?
Yeah, Africa that only became my song and my favorite song kind of like end of undergrad, but at the start I was a big Wonderwall guy.
Nice.
That's my girlfriend's favorite song.
It's so hype.
Yeah,
I heard it live at Oshiaga. It was sick.
No way.
Yeah, it was really lit.
Oasis was at Oshiaga?
No, it was just Liam Gallagher, but we take it.
Oh, yeah.
I was just at Igloo
That's a
Fest
win.
on last Friday night, and it was for DJ Snake, who, if you listen to EDM, like everybody knows DJ Snake. Also, even if you don't listen to EDM, I feel like everybody knows at least one DJ Snake song. It's like they just don't know it's him, I guess.
Yeah.
But that was pretty hype. It was like negative 24 degrees Celsius outside, and I was having a great time. So a lot more dubstep than you would expect. But yeah, enough lollygagging, guys. I can't believe you're talking this much. But
honestly, it's crazy.
All
right,
let's go through the 2-week update.
Yeah. So I think this is like our least like told you so 2-week update that we've had in a while. So I think we're gonna have to review some of these and see if we still stand by our takes. So first we had, as a buy low 2 weeks ago, Matthew Nyes. Since then, 7 games played, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points, and the backhat still sucks. So he has not turned it around in the past 2 weeks since we recommended him. Do we still recommend him as a buy low?
I would still love to buy low on Matthew Nyes. I think this is just one of those that I think the turnaround is, maybe the ceiling is not as high as it was like before the season started. Like, he's not going to average over a point per game, but I think the floor should be a lot higher than this. And I think he's already started to bounce back a little bit, but like, the Leafs are one of the worst teams in the league and probably not making the playoffs, but I can't imagine they're going to stop trying. So
yeah, okay. I think they're going to try to the end, and Nyes is going to be a big part of it.
I agree. I would still buy on him. If anything, now his price is even lower probably because he hasn't turned it around yet. So yeah, still like that one. Then we had Sergei Bobrovsky. Since then, 3 games played, 1 win, 2.99 goals against average, .866 save percentage, and possibly splitting starts with Daniil Tarasov. Is this still a buy low that we stand behind, or are we adjusting our expectations at all?
I think the splitting starts means he's an even bigger buy low, but listen, this was my pick, and obviously if you bought him, you haven't seen the results just yet. But the main thing that I was like, very adamant on when you're buying Bobrovsky is to not pay like the big bucks for him, right? Like, he was a buy low because he was easily acquirable. I feel like you could acquire him for like the best goalie that was not on waivers type of thing with how bad he was. And if you acquired him for that, I'm still happy I did, and I'm holding him because I think Florida's making the playoffs. They're currently not in a playoff spot. It would be unfathomable for the back-to-back champs to not make the playoffs. So I think a run is upon us. Am I worried about Tarasov long-term? Absolutely not. I think Bob is their guy. I think they have the opportunity to give him a break leading up to the Olympic break, and Tarasov is giving them good quality. So I understand why he's getting a couple more starts here and there. And Bob has always thrived when he's had less games on his plate. So the fact that a backup can come in and, take some of the load off and give him time to rest, I think will help him get back to the better version of himself. So I think post-Olympic break, I think Bob is going to be on fire. That's my take.
Mm-hmm.
We'll reevaluate when that happens, but I'm still buying, just making sure you're buying at the right price, and the price is very low.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and then we had Mo Seider. Since then, 6 games played, 0 goals, 4 assists, 4 points. Honestly, 4 and 6 for a defenseman is super solid. And I think that like he still could be bought lower than his value, but he's already started trending upwards, I think. So, and I expect Detroit to make an acquisition offensive wise that might help the power play even more.
Yeah, this one was mine, and he's definitely gotten a lot better. He was at 0.33 points per game. Now he's at 0.67 over the last 2 weeks. He was at 1 shot. Now he's at 2.2. I mean, like, these are just things that you look for in a bounce back. So I'm pretty happy with it. But you're right. I would still look to buy him because I think that his value could go up. His hits have been strangely, weirdly not good, but hopefully that just regresses positively, and we get a lot of good things moving forward. So I would have been happy having bought him, and I just still try to buy him.
Yep. All right, then our sell highs. We had Clayton Keller. Since then, 6 games played, 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points, but 0 points in his last 3 games. So after we recommended him, he had like a monster-like game or two, but then he has no points in his last 3. I think that and also one thing we kind of highlighted at the time was that he wasn't going to become a complete dud. It was mainly the playoff schedule that we were trying to like offload and turn him into someone of equal value with the good playoff schedule. So I still stand by that. He should still hover around point per game. Also at the time he was at like 1.4, something like that. So I think that's a clear win. Then we had Mika Zibanejad. Since then, 7 games played, 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points. All right, is this one that we have to readjust, or
he can't
are we
keep
still
getting away with this?
Are we still saying he's a sell high, or are we just accepting that Zibanejad's the best player in the world?
He's still a sell high, absolutely. And to me, it's just like, if you look at the targets we had put, like, we were aiming pretty high too. Like, he was a top 10 player in fantasy for most leagues over the last month or two. Similar to Ryan O'Reilly, except, I think Zibanejad's a better player, younger too, I hope. But I'm still, especially with, Panarin about to be on the move and like this team kind of like falling apart, like they're one of the worst teams in the East. I don't think he can keep up this production forever. And you're able to use him as a trade piece for a top level asset, and that's still what I'm trying to do. Like, I'm not saying Zibanejad is going to zero. I'm not saying that he's going to become the worst player ever, but you have the opportunity to use him as an integral piece to achieve a top level fantasy asset, and I'm still trying to do that. And I think the fact that he's still doing it means that he's still a great sell high. So,
Okay, I agree.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we had Tomas Hertl, 7 games played, 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points. I mean, that we were seeing it already at the time. He was at like 1.2 points per game, 1.3, something crazy like that.
1.3,
now he's
1.3.
Now he's under a point per game. We're already seeing the drop. And again, Cats-wise, he's been a beast, but we never said he wasn't going to be. It was just mainly the points were super inflated. So I think that's pretty much right on target with what we were saying.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of those that you're totally happy if you weren't able to sell him. It's still okay. 0.71 points over the last 2 weeks average. His shots, faceoffs, hits, blocks have been decent. Like, this is what you expect from him, but at 1.3 was a clear overperformance. Hope you were able to sell. We recommended Larkin, Suzuki, Stützle, Jarvis, Kaprizov, who has been on fire. I doubt that you were able to do 1-for-1. If by chance you packaged and got back Kaprizov, please let us know in the Discord, and huge congratulations. But yeah, Hertl's definitely slowed down. Still not the end of the world if you're holding him through the stretch, though.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we're still doing pretty well. It just, at the end of the day, not every buy low, sell high immediately flips a switch right after we recommend it.
Yep.
As much as we'd love to have that power, and honestly, it's been like that a lot of the time throughout the season, but it's not always like that. So yeah.
I think last week in the 2-week update, we talked about Morgan Geekie, right? And he was, I really wanted to mention this on the podcast because he had not bounced back like tremendously when the 2-week update happened, and he was one of my buy lows like a month ago. But if you look at Morgan Geekie's game log over the last few weeks, he's been on a tear.
And
if you bought low, he's a geeking and a half, or geeking and platform 3/4. But I really think that if you bought low and you're gonna have him on your roster for like that playoff schedule and what he's doing now, and they're stacking the top line again, so good things are happening for Morgan Geekie, and he was very, very achievable when we mentioned him on the podcast. So
yep.
All right, let's get into our buy lows for this week. I'll get us started. I'm keeping on my trend of picking guys on Kevin's team. Honestly,
you just my team first.
I literally don't.
Okay.
I sort by like for my buy lows, I'll sort by rostered percentage and then last
Same.
30 days average, and then I'll just look for the smallest points and see if it's someone that I'm like, this doesn't make sense. It should be higher.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I end up. But they keep happening like people on your team, so it's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyways, buy low for this week is Drake Batherson of the Ottawa Senators. In the past month, he's averaging 0.53 points per game, 0.2 power play points, 1.9 shots, 1.3 hits. On the season, he's at 0.9 points per game, 0.32 power play points, 2.1 shots, and 1.4 hits. Over the past 4 seasons, he's averaged 0.82 points per game super consistently each year. So the 0.82 is over those 4 seasons, but each individual year pretty much hovers over that exact number. Last season, he averaged 0.38 power play points. Ottawa currently has the 10th best power play in the league, and we saw them be top 5 earlier this year. I'd expect Batherson to finish around 0.85 points per game, 0.35 power play points, 2 shots, 1.5 hits, which is way better than what he's been doing the past month. And throw in a great playoff schedule, and he's a fantastic buy low. Ottawa has also had some super high-scoring games lately where Batherson didn't really get involved, so that could definitely frustrate the owner even more and let you buy him for cheaper. Those are the best, it doesn't matter to your player, right, how many points the team scored if he didn't score. But in terms of how frustrated the owner gets, the more goals that are scored by their team and he's not involved in, the more they're like, this guy sucks. How do you not get a single point and the team gets 7 goals and he gets nothing. So that's the type of thing that I like looking at because it can lead to more frustrated owners who might be more willing to sell. So some targets that may be able to get it done. Let me know if I aimed too low on these, or if you think some of them I know for sure you can get done. Some of them I may have aimed too low. I have Will Smith, Jared McCann, Ryan O'Reilly, Nick Schmaltz, and Alex Tuck.
Okay, so I want to just quickly chime in, and then I'll let Kevin take the load on here.
Thanks.
Because he has Batherson, so I know he could speak a lot about this. But I just want to quickly say that you didn't name anyone that was what's gonna happen if there's like a better player involved here, and then there's no extra Batherson to throw into the trade?
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Batherson's our token addition over here, so I don't know. When he himself is the buy low, like my head's exploding. I don't know what to do with this information.
Batherson plus Batherson. What? Can I compete?
Doesn't make sense. all right, Kevin, take it away with
I mean, I completely agree with Josh that Batherson is a buy low. I think Ottawa's schedule recently has been kind of tricky too. Like they're not playing the most games as of late, so it gives you a bigger window when the production's not there. That like the sample size feels bigger than it actually is. And like Josh mentioned, like his on the season stats are fantastic. I think all of Ottawa's assets are going to be better this year than they were last year. And last year they were already pretty good, especially on the power play. He mentioned, Ottawa's had a top 5 power play almost the whole entire season, and that's not going to change in my opinion. I still think they're going to hover around there, whether they fluctuate down to 10 or up to 3 or whatnot. I think they're going to hover around 5 for rest of season, and Batherson is an integral part of that. And Ottawa has a stacked top 6. They're really like stars and rags to riches, not rags to riches, but rags and riches, I guess. And and I would love to acquire him if I didn't already have him on my team. And I feel like right now, like also everybody knows I'm a power play lover. And if you're able to acquire a guy that can have elite power play production on the low, I think that's a tremendous trade because those are not easy to find on waivers, to be honest, especially if you're in a deeper league. So the ability to acquire Batherson right now, I think, is a phenomenal opportunity.
Yep.
What do you guys
And I
think
love
of
all
the
your targets, Josh.
Yeah. Okay.
Love all your targets. I think, my favorite is Ryan O'Reilly because I think that's one of the most feasible. Nick Schmaltz also super feasible. I would do those two for Batherson in a heartbeat. You maybe even be able to get Batherson plus because I feel like Batherson doesn't have the same name value that some of these other guys have. So Alex Tuck too. Like Alex Tuck is still not even on PP1 and Buffalo's killing it. So he's still a good player, but you're getting tremendous power play value there.
Yeah, Batherson is a good player for bangers. You're always happy with him on your team. This is a slow stretch, so it's a great buy low, but he's not super flashy. I don't think any of these names are aiming too low at all. I think they're actually very good targets.
Yep.
Sick. All right, Kevin, who do you got?
All right. My player is potentially surprising because I don't think people expect this to be his type of game. And also, he's got a tremendous playoff schedule. So why am I doing this? But I'm talking about Charlie McAvoy of the Boston Bruins. Now, yes, weeks 21 to 23, Charlie McAvoy's got a 4.44. But also, last season, don't forget, Charlie McAvoy was averaging less than half a point per game. Right? Not saying that's his baseline. He had a severe underperformance last season. This year, he's averaging 0.84 points per game, which is really good. It's a huge bounce back from last season. Over the last 2 weeks to a month, he's averaging 1.15 points per game. That's 0.3 points per game more than what he's doing on the season. He's been in tremendous form. I think Boston is still scoring so many goals, and he's being a part of it. Now, one thing with McAvoy is that he's been notorious for being like, a back category stud because he'll get you like almost a triple-double, right? It's like 2 shots, 2 hits, 2 blocks, and that's super valuable. His bangers have been lower this season. He's not averaging 2 in any of those categories, and some he's barely averaging 1. Like he's not really hitting as much. His shots have been lower, and his blocks have been lower.
Wait, hold on. You're doing the sell high.
Oh,
I fully did not like.
Yeah, I was
just
like,
go ahead.
okay,
Keep going. Keep going.
So
Yeah,
this is
a sell high.
different order. So this is Kevin's sell high. I was like, wait a second, what is going on here?
I jumped the gun. I was too excited to talk about this guy.
Yeah.
So this is
When I set it up in a negative way, I forgot we were doing.
Yeah, I was like, wait, I'm looking at these stats right here. And I'm like, this is this is not a buy low. I was like, this is not a buy low. If this was anyway, you could go longer, but this is McKinnon McDavid. So okay.
So you should
new order for the episode. So sell high on McAvoy recommendon. Continue.
Yes, please sell high. Do not buy low on McAvoy. People will think you're dumb.
Exactly. You could give McKinnon. You could give buying low on McAvoy. You could give Draisaitl.
So finishing my sell high. Sorry for the confusion, everybody. But he's averaging 1.15 points per game.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be that much. And I think he's already performing lower in the category coverage, and those will fluctuate up and down. But across the board this season, he hasn't really hit the thresholds that he's hit in the years past. So I think for that reason, the bangers have been less. The points have been a lot more than what you would expect from him as a baseline. And the playoff schedule is elite. I think you can trade him for another guy that's like has a great playoff schedule, but is just better value overall. And that's the type of moves that I really want to do if I have McAvoy on my roster right now, because you could capitalize on the extra points production. So if you've been listening for a buy low, this is not your guy. But if you're listening for a sell high, he is absolutely your guy, because I think you can target really high level players. Like I think you can get, we've talked about him in the past, and maybe this is controversial, but I think Jake Sanderson is still achievable, and I would rather have Jake Sanderson over McAvoy rest of the season. I think the points is higher, and I think you're getting more shots and more blocks, and it makes it worth it to take the one less games of playoffs in weeks 21 to 23. If you can. And it's always hard to do a 1-for-1, so I'm giving you guys that I think should be attainable in the package. But I would love to try to acquire Rasmus Dahlin. I know he hasn't necessarily been a buy low, but I think if you have Dahlin, the sentiment is maybe not. It's still good. He's been really great, but if you can figure out a trade,
game.
I know that's why the averages are super skewed. It really, I got dogged on the timing there.
Yeah.
But before that 5-point game, the difference looked way worse if you're comparing McAvoy and Dahlin. Maybe a hot take. Would you rather Dougie Hamilton over McAvoy rest of season with what Dougie's been able to do on, the New Jersey power play and the points production and the shots? I think that's a spicy one. And I think Chychrun is still very, very attainable for McAvoy, and you're getting so many more shots there. I think Chychrun easily ends with more points than McAvoy and points per game pace rest of season. So these are guys that I'm trying to trade for. And even Morrissey, I feel like he's like a name that kind of like faded into the darkness this season, where people used to say he was like one of the top names, and then Winnipeg has just been so bad that people have not talked about him anymore. And even when he's doing well, I feel like people are not really talking about him, and when he's doing bad, he's awful. But I still think rest of season Morrissey will get you a lot more power play points. Maybe not a lot more power play points, but more power play points, more points. And the back categories, honestly, they're so negligible at this point because of McAvoy not hitting the high ceilings that he was hitting before, that I would make that swap. What do you guys think? Am I cooking for my sell high?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is your sell high, not your buy low. Jake,
Yeah.
It's a great sell high. It's a fantastic sell high, and one more time, it is a sell high. So, now that we've gotten to the bottom of that, I think that I really like it as a recommendation.
Sorry, before I forget,
Yeah,
Heiskanen was
that's
one of
a
my
good
main
one.
targets.
So I was gonna say the only issue I have is the fact that I think the targets are also performing very well. Dahlin, you're right. It's kind
he's
of
obviously performing really well.
Yeah, it's a thing. I think Hamilton, you need to get back a sizable plus, because I actually like McAvoy's outlook simply better than Dougie's rest of the season. No knock on Dougie there. It's nice to see the resurgence, but I just think McAvoy he's a good defenseman. He's on pace for a career year. Sanderson, I think I would rather Sanderson. I think that's fair.
Yep.
That's probably my favorite flip that you mentioned, but also he's been okay. Now
Yep.
I would
He's been a point
try.
per game over the past month.
I think Seider and Heiskanen are like two of the biggest names that you
Seider
get.
and Heiskanen. What I was going to say,
And
those are
Chychrun.
your two.
Yeah, and Chychrun, sorry.
Chychrun's been decent actually. Chychrun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but I
not,
think
not what
he's-
McAvoy's been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been good. Like the last 2 weeks, especially 2 shots, 2 hits, and 1.14 points per game with a .43 power play. That's tough to buy.
No.
I
On
would
the
still
month, it's
try
like
to do it.
0.85.
Don't even think it's unattainable though, because I think that McAvoy's just been on fire for like a longer period of time. So I think that the Chychrun owner would be willing to sell. It's just hard. Like I wouldn't add McAvoy plus for Chychrun. Like that's not one of the ones.
You
that
make
I
it a
would
2
do.
for 2, and you make it seem like you're getting good value.
Yeah, so basically fantastic recommendation. I think that the archetype of hit, like the shots hits not being what they were, it's a little discouraging for bangers leagues, but
Yeah.
I still think the points are good, but will regress to a .85, which, hey, you're not unhappy.
Well, 0.8. I feel like 0.8 is realistic for McAvoy.
And that'd be a huge drop, a massive drop. If that's the case, you're happy to get him off your team.
Yeah, for me, I think it's a great sell high. fully agree. Like, there's no way he's going to maintain this. I think my issue with the sell high or anything, the reason I didn't pick a defenseman this week is because I was looking at it and like all the defensemen have insane numbers lately. Have you
I
noticed? Like
know.
every defenseman, like so I was going to
Yes.
put actually as a sell high this week. I was going to put Bouchard, right?
Yeah.
And it was going to be for like the top of the top, obviously, because he
Yeah.
is a top 3 defenseman. But like everyone is just killing it. Like it's actually insane what's been going on. So
Yeah.
like it's just hard to find
It was hard.
targets because everyone else is also overperforming. So like it's hard to sell high when you're also buying high. That being said, in terms of your targets, I think Seider and Heiskanen are both fantastic ones.
Those are clear slam dunks to me. Like if you
yeah.
can make those happen, you have McAvoy on your roster. Like you're giving away like the 4-4-4 playoff schedule, but you're getting a tremendous value in players back and still a pretty good playoff schedule as well. Like those would be
Yeah.
slam dunk trades.
Yeah, I think Chikrin could get done, and I would like that as well. I don't think you're getting Dahlin. Like I don't think you're making
about
a
Sanderson?
trade for So Dahlin, I don't think you're getting. Sanderson just is also a point per game, but I think you could pull that off, and I think
Yeah.
Sanderson also would be a fantastic one, and also has a great playoff schedule. So I like all of those. In terms of Dougie, I prefer McAvoy over Dougie. I just think that he has so much less risk involved.
Mhm.
And the ceiling is like pretty similar. I mean, Dougie's shots as a defenseman are elite. Even when he was garbage all season,
Mhm.
he was still shooting a ton. So he definitely has that on him. And like, if Luke Hughes is out for the season, then I don't think Dougie has any risk. But
I
it's
think
just like
Luke Hughes is out for the fantasy season anyways.
okay. Well, then
They said 4 to 6 weeks, but I feel like they're gonna err on caution because Nutri's is not gonna be in the playoff race. That's my take.
yeah. Yeah, so I guess we'll see. And I mean, really, there's no reason for Hughes to come back and take it from Dougie, but we've seen this coach and management be really dumb with how they do things, and just McAvoy doesn't have that issue, right? Doesn't have that stress at all. So I think I still take McAvoy over Dougie. But if you can get, like Jakey said, if you get Dougie with a big plus, I think it's actually closer than people would think. So if it's a Dougie owner like me, right, and they've been holding him through all the downs, and now he's turning it up, and so a lot of people might think, oh, I got to get him off my team now while he's good before he becomes garbage again, you know? Then that's a situation you could take advantage of. If it's an owner who's like, oh, I held him this whole time and now he's finally playing his potential, and I knew he was this good, he's going to be this good rest of the season, then don't trade with him. But it's a very different two mindsets for that.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Also, aim for a forward. Like that you can definitely do that too. I feel like there's a lot of guys who'd be able to attainably
Forward would be a lot easier to attain, yeah.
Yeah, because there
Some
are
of the
definitely
DFM
under.
nuts.
I mean, Batherson,
Drake
right?
Batherson.
Like, Batherson's. Like, you could even send Batherson and Batherson back.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say you can get a plus, like even a
Send
second
McAvoy
Batherson.
plus Batherson for Batherson plus.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, let's get to
continue with
Jakey's buy
my
low,
buy
not
low?
sell high.
All right.
Just to confuse everyone.
Yeah, all good. As the great Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas once said, "Let's get bedarded in here." Can't wait to hear about that one in the Discord. Okay, Connor Bedard of the Chicago Blackhawks
the
is my
worst
buy
jokes.
low for this week. The saddest
talk
part
about
of this
his
buy
pitch.
low. There's
Yeah, we're gonna hear about the pitch more than the joke.
the saddest part of this buy low recommendation is that I realized Connor Bedard was not even born yet when that song came out. So we're getting old, guys.
Oh no! Why'd you say
Anyway, on
hate that.
to the hockey part of it. I think this is simply the only time he'll be a buy low all season. He's actually started heating up very recently, but since coming back from injury, he has 8 points in his last 11 games. There's nothing wrong with that at all, of course, but he's at 1.24 on the season, and that's with his pretty slow stretch lately. With the Olympic break coming up and the ability for him to hit on that elite tier that we know he can after they return, I'm extremely optimistic for his rest of season outlook. I highly doubt they're making the playoffs, but with how wide open the wild card is in the West, I wouldn't be surprised if they really try to make a push. Frankly, I don't think they have any decent players to sell, and while I'm not entirely sure they'll be buyers, they probably won't be, but the entire goal of the Blackhawks franchise is to get Bedard going. So they're definitely going to play him with their best players that they do have right now, or if somehow they do turn into buyers, then it can only mean that things would be looking better for him. He's also an amazing goal scorer, and on the season he's at a 15% shooting percentage, but over the last month he's at 5.6. There's natural positive regression due there, and add that on to the fact that he only had one power play point since returning from injury. He'll have the rest of the Olympic break to rest his shoulder, and he's definitely one of those players I'm looking to target for the rest of the season. This is a prime example. I'll also just add, we were talking about this last episode of players, do you want them during the Olympic break? You know, this is like the best example of a non-Russian player who I'm so happy he's not going to the Olympics. He has time to rest out the shoulder, and I expect he's going to be incredible after the break. So the targets I have, Cole Caulfield, Evan Bouchard, JT Miller, Matt Boldy, and Marcel High, but no spoilers there.
I love
probably
this.
Charlie McAvoy, to be honest. That's a good addition to this. I feel like
you can not get
that's
Connor
another
Bedard,
one.
but I wish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could try, but no, I love this. I think Bedard is the best buy low going into the Olympic break. The great thing is they have no more games before the Olympic break, so you could spend the next 3 weeks hounding on the Bedard owner, trying to convince him that Bedard sucks because he hasn't turned it around just yet, and maybe I'm trying. I've sent out an offer for Bedard, so I just think that damn, that's always a red flag to the owners when they get on the offer the same guy from multiple of us. They're like, what's going on here? Pass. Yeah. But yeah, no, he's also like fantastic playoff schedule. Like it's a 11 games over week 21 and 23, but the off nights is very key, especially week 22. They have an off night on Saturday, and there's only 2 teams in the league that have an off night that night, which is Chicago and Rangers. So that's he's really just. Yeah, and we saw him at 1.4 earlier this season. I think this Olympic break, like you mentioned, is going to be so huge for him. So yes, huge buy low opportunity. There are very few players that I wouldn't be willing to send for him, honestly. I'm trying to do McDavid for Bedard plus, but like, I think that there's definitely a lot of good stuff. Anyways, in terms of your targets, I would take Bedard over, I think, all of them. The only like maybe question mark is Bouchard, but I do think Bouchard's a massive sell high right now. I just think if you're doing Bouchard, you should get Bedard plus with how just unbelievable he's been. But all the others like Caulfield, like I would definitely take Bedard, and Caulfield's been unbelievable. JT, I would take Bedard for sure, and JT's actually been really good lately. Boldy as well. Like, yeah, no, Bedard is sick. These are great targets. Can't wait to see who the sell high is, but no spoilers.
Jakey always does this. He picks 2 guys, buy low, sell high, and then he puts them for each other, and then you don't find out until you listen to the whole episode. So
yeah, that's great.
Jakey's just the
king of
marketing
clickbait.
agent. Right here. Yeah. And bad jokes. But yeah, nothing much to add on my side. I think Bedard is a tremendous buy low. I sent an offer like a while ago before Panarin was on IR because he's being held up for trade reasons, so was not able to make it happen. But I think he's a phenomenal player. I think the ceiling is super high, and like Josh said, I think the Olympic break is going to do a lot of good things for his value. And also, like, if you're in a keeper league, but if you're in a keeper league, the guy who has Bedard is never trading Bedard.
Yeah,
but just imagine what he can do when he actually gets good wingers. You know what I mean? Like, he's playing with Turbo Teravainen, Tyler Bertuzzi, Burakovsky, Frank Nazar. They're so starved for good players that they have to use their second line center to play him on the wing of Connor Bedard to get value. So
yeah,
imagine next year.
It's gonna be crazy.
I know.
He's definitely a first round pick. But yeah. All right, let's get into me and Jakey's sell highs and Kevin's buy low. So start with my sell high. My sell high for this week is Ilya Sorokin of the New York Islanders. Over the past month, Sorokin has a 75% win rate, winning 6 out of 8 of his starts, 1.89 goals against average, .936 save percentage, and 3 shutouts. 3 shutouts in 8 games.
That's this.
The Islanders are currently 3rd in their division, but I'd be surprised if they make the playoffs. Sorokin's numbers have been insane since returning from injury, but look at the opponents he's faced. He played New Jersey, who at the time were dog awful. He played Minnesota. Okay, that's a strong opponent. Played Winnipeg, the worst team in the league, and that was the only garbage game he had in this stretch. Played against Edmonton. Okay, strong opponent. Vancouver, garbage. Seattle, weak. Philly, garbage. Rangers, garbage plus no Panarin. So extra garbage. Like, he's only played 2 real teams, Minnesota and Edmonton, during this crazy stretch. And although he still played great against them, it's not sustainable. I mean, even if he was playing this against great teams, like the numbers he's putting up are just, you're not getting 3 shutouts every 8 games. So Sorokin's a fantastic goalie. The combination of new goalie coach and him getting healthy seems to have really helped his game. But you have the opportunity to use his name value and insane stats to flip him for a goalie on a team that you can be much more confident in than the Islanders. So main thing is the team. If I was more confident in the Islanders, I wouldn't, like, obviously regardless, this is sell high because of how ridiculous he's playing. But if I had more confidence in their rest of the season outlook, I wouldn't be like, all right, get him off for sure. But like, I don't know if I'm making this up, but I'm pretty sure earlier this season people were asking about dropping Sorokin, like
Yes, they
with how
were.
bad he was. So look, you know what the floor is, and it's drop worthy. So some targets I'm looking at: Jake Ottinger, Philip Gustafson, and Mackenzie Blackwood.
Yeah, I mean, like he is one of the best goalies in the league. I think as like from a skill standpoint, you put him on Edmonton, they win the cup. You put him on Colorado, and I think like
Mhm.
he's a better goalie, frankly, than all the ones you mentioned. It's just that I totally believe in Dallas, in Minnesota, and in the Avalanche way more than I believe in the Islanders. I also think that it's going to be one of those stories that they're just going to fall out of the playoff picture, or you know, definitely not be a lock for third place. So I really like the recommendation and the targets as well. Uh, I think, okay, let me just say that I at one point said when our Would You Rathers it was Greaves versus Sorokin. I am
You
now
both said.
firmly taking the Sorokin side, like to be honest, regardless. So I still think
I want to hear.
I make
I want
no
to hear Kevin
regrets.
say it. I want to hear
I
Kevin
make no
say
regrets.
it.
Honestly, it looks like a big win for Sorokin right now. And
And for Josh.
that's probably it. He was listening to the
That too.
podcast, and then he, like that's it. No, he's been on fire, but I definitely think that it's worse days ahead, and
they can't be better days ahead.
No, this is nuts. 44 save shutout, 35 against Edmonton. I mean, come on, that's nuts.
He might win the Vezina this year, to be honest. I think
If
it
the
would
Islanders
be
make the playoffs, like I think he's a top contender.
Even if he
without,
doesn't-
he's still
yeah. It's him. Probably, I think Vasilevsky should be in the running this year. To be
He's
honest,
been
like I feel
insane.
I feel like he's never in the running because people are just like, he's had his due type of thing. But no, he's been tremendous. And listen, I feel like people have thought I hated Sorokin in the past. Do not hate Sorokin. He was one of the only goalies I drafted last year. And it was tough, but he ended the season really strong. I think he just goes through the stretches. Like Sorokin is a tremendous goalie. It's just the team he's on is not always able to deliver results that like help him out. And no matter which goalie it was, if they're putting up these numbers over this stretch, you try to sell them. You try to sell them to a goalie on one of the best teams in the league. That's a great goalie. That's Blackwood. That's Ottinger. That's Gustafson. If you can even, I would honestly try to do like Sorokin plus player for Vasilevsky. Like if the Vasilevsky owner is like lower in the standings and needs a little more depth, and you have the luxury of being able to give up a medium player.
Batherson.
I was leading up to it, but would you do Sorokin plus Batherson for Vasilevsky?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, me
Vazzy's
too.
been
Yes.
insane. Tampa's been insane,
Yep.
and I trust them a lot more than Islanders.
Yep.
So that's the type of thing that I would be trying to do because Vasilevsky is within reach, no matter how good he's been, because of how good Sorokin's been, and they both have name value. Obviously, Vasilevsky is Vasilevsky, but it's just nuts. Would you trade Sorokin 1-for-1 for Connor Hellebuck?
No.
No, at this point, I'm off the Hellebuck train. I haven't been sending offers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a crazy situation, but nonetheless, I think Sorokin right now, like when we talk about him in 2 weeks, he's not gonna have three
shutouts in
massive
8
shutouts
games.
on his roster. Guys, we did this earlier this season. We did it with Askarov. We did it with Jesper Wallstead, who is now a drop. I'm not saying Sorokin's gonna go to being a drop, but these guys that are averaging like almost perfect stats for this kind of time, it never holds up. It's too hard to do so. Like the guys, they just can't keep doing it.
I'd love to experience that on my team one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on to Kevin's buy low.
Yeah.
All right. My buy low is a player that I love spelling his first name. It is Bryan Rust with a Y, not an I. That's how you spell his name. It's Brian with a Y.
I feel like that's a fine way to spell
King
Brian.
over there.
Yeah. No, I think Brian should be spelled with an I.
Okay, hot take.
No shade, Brian Rust, but I believe you're a buy low. So,
So that's why you're in the sell high section of the episode.
but listen, I feel like people don't give Bryan Rust the credit that he deserves. I feel like he's always just a solid winger to have in fantasy. He plays with Sidney Crosby. He's on a top 5 power play in the league. Last season, he averaged 0.92 points per game, 0.25 power play points, and was very close to 3 shots on goal a game. This season, right now, over the last month, the shots have still been there. The points have really not been there. His production has basically been cut in half from the season to what he's been doing over the last month. There's not a small sample size. Like, yeah, he's been battling injuries here and there. Like, he's also one of the guys that is in the squishy camp. It's like him, Josh Norris, Jack Hughes. So, yeah, all of those boys. But when they're healthy, they're tremendous fantasy hockey players. And over the last month, Bryan Rust is at 0.45 points per game. He's still playing on a line with Sidney Crosby. He's still power play 1, and this is still a top power play in the league. I think this is a tremendous opportunity to make your team better, and it's like one of those not flashy moves that you can make that ends up being a championship decision for your fantasy team. I think you can send like middle range guys. Like I think you can send, I don't know if this is a hot take, but like a Nick Schmaltz for Bryan Rust, and I would love to do that. Bryan Rust is a guy that will hover over 1 point per game, like just under a point per game, and get you 0.35 power play points and close to 3 shots a game. I think that's tremendous value for a guy that you can acquire for pretty cheap because people don't associate him with a high level name value, and the production is not there right now. So I think these are all guys that you could get for Bryan Rust right now. And I think you can send like an Alex Tuck as well. I think you can send a Steven Stamkos. I think you can send a... This is tough. No, I'm not going to say that name. Not going to say that name.
What name?
I was going to say Ryan O'Reilly, but I feel like with Ryan O'Reilly, if I have him on my roster, I want to aim higher than Bryan Rust. So, but would I rather Bryan Rust? Like, gun to my head, my life is on the line. Who do I rather have on my fantasy team rest of the season?
This house is on Zillow. So many crazy things happening.
I just think Bryan Rust could be like a 0.92 points per game, like what he did last season, except better because Pittsburgh's better. Like, is it crazy that he finishes on a point per game pace? I don't think it's crazy. Could he get?
I'm thinking.
Could he get 3 shots a game? Could he get 0.35 power play points? Yeah. What do you think Ryan O'Reilly's gonna get? Ryan O'Reilly's gonna get like 1.7 shots a game when he ends up coming back down to earth. Maybe 0.2 power play points and like 0.85, 0.8 points per game. I think that's very realistic. I think you'll be happier with Bryan Rust on your roster. Now, right now, if you tell me that, people are going to think I'm crazy because they're looking at the numbers and they're being like, why are you telling me this guy that's like getting 3 times as less points as Ryan O'Reilly is going to be better? But this is the type of trades that you do to win your championship. You send Ryan O'Reilly, you get Bryan Rust plus somebody else. You make it a 2-for-2. You get 2 upgrades in the long term. Then you're laughing.
Yeah, I fully agree. I agree with the buy low. I agree with all the targets. I think I'd take Rust over all those guys. I've always been high on him. His biggest issue is staying healthy.
Yeah.
So as long as he can do that, Pittsburgh's unreal playoff schedule as well.
Yes,
4-3-5 is nuts. So no, I love Rust.
Yeah, the small caveat I would think, tiny though, because I don't think it's much of an issue, is that if they actually do trade 4 players, because I actually think they're turning into buyers, not sellers. Maybe that screws with his deployment, but I doubt that they're gonna actually get a player that's gonna happen to. If anything, it would be Raquel who would be more affected. Potentially, he'd be going the other way in a trade also. So I think that it's a fantastic choice, and I expect really good things for him rest of the season.
Yeah, I think if you can trade like a Nick Ehlers as well, I think that's maybe a deal that can get done. Nick Ehlers, Gabe Velarde, Kevin Fiala, like I'd rather Rust over all these guys. So if you have any chance to make a swap like that, like I would do that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
All right, Jakey, take us home.
With your sell high, not your buy low.
Yes.
Bryan Rust was a buy low. This guy's a sell high.
You know what? I don't really mind this order. It's actually kind of fun.
Yeah, we can kind of
mix
alternate
and
a little
match.
bit.
It was confusing because it happened by accident.
I was
But
just
hey.
avant-garde, ahead of the curve.
That's it. All right. My sell high is of the Carolina Hurricanes, Andrei Svechnikov. I was very surprised that he was never a buy low. And to be honest, I think it's because Josh was so low on him when he drafted him earlier this year that I think we all just became convinced that he was going to suck. But lo and behold, he's turned it around big time. I have no idea how he managed to get out of the doghouse, but he did in a big way. And if you diamond hands him this year, congratulations, because it's been paying dividends amazingly as of late. The thing is that his production has been steadily better over the last month, but it's really very recently that it's been just insane and way better than what we conceived of when, we thought he was horrible at the beginning of the year. Really, it's over the last 6 games, he's scored 11 points. He's also been averaging 1 power play point per game, well over a double-double in shots and hits, and crazy penalty minutes over the last 2 games. I think that most of the listeners are going to know where I'm going with this because we talk about how unsustainable and volatile players are on Rod's team. But this is just another classic example of that. As good as he has been lately, we've seen throughout his entire career, Svechnikov has fallen in and out of favor with the Hurricanes, sometimes for seemingly no reason, and there's a solid chance that happens again. Even if he doesn't and he keeps his good deployment, this pace is still unsustainable. So really, he's a sell high regardless. I know how hard it is to part with him because he's so good for bangers leagues. He's delivering exactly what you want. But this is the best time to send him in a trade if you can, because the value won't be higher than this at any point between now and the end of the season. So my targets over here, we got my buy low, Connor Bedard. I know you may think you need to add a plus, which I wouldn't be opposed to doing, but I think you can even try 1-for-1, and it's definitely not a non-starter. Kyle Connor, Wyatt Johnston, Marty Necas, and this is the big one. I think it could be huge. Mikko Rantanen.
Yeah, this is sick. Honestly, like I mean, this is the player I drafted him to be. Luckily, I still got full value for him, so I'm not missing out on all this production. I got Robertson for him, so it's a perfect trade for me, because then the other guy's not mad at me next year, and he might be willing to trade with me again. So I'm always happy if that happens. If I win a trade, but the guy I traded with is still happy, that's my ideal scenario. So
like that
so
Zach
no,
Galifianakis meme. He's like waving, he's like nodding at him on the
exactly. Yeah, no. So this is fantastic, and yeah, no, what he's doing is super unsustainable. Just because it's crazy. He's going to come down to earth a bit more. Like, I still think he's going to be solid rest of the season. But yes, there is always that question, like that stress in the back of your mind. Is he going to go to line 4, power play 2 at any moment? Like, I think he's solidified his deployment like a lot more over the course of the season with how strong he's played since getting bumped up. But there is no rhyme or reason to what Rod does, especially in terms of guys who are not Aho. Pretty much Aho is the only guy who doesn't get messed with. Even Jarvis will be bumped to line 3 sometimes. Like he'll still be good, but like in terms of deployments, the only guy who doesn't get messed around with is Aho. So I would much prefer. I like all these targets he put. I think they're fantastic, and I think you should aim really high with a guy like Svechnikov when he's playing like this. So Rantanen hasn't been that great, like he doesn't shoot. He's pretty much like Mitch Marnering this season, where like he does 0 backcuts and then just great for like points and power play points. And even that, like obviously he was injured for a bit, and so he hasn't come back fully yet. So no, I think that's a great target. Look, I don't think most of these get done 1-for-1, although it's possible with how unreal Svech has been. I mean, just like on name value, maybe not, but if you have to toss in a little plus to get this done, then toss in Batherson and call it a day.
Svech plus Batherson for Connor Bedard. Who says no? Batherson probably, but
yeah. Quick correction. It's actually Robert Redford in the nodding meme.
Yeah.
Galifianakis.
Yeah. Okay. I was a bit confused. I was like, that's
the community was pissed.
Yeah.
Just saying. But yeah, I mean, I think Mikko Rantanen is really the one I would want, but they're all underperforming, these guys. I think with the name value, Rantanen and Bedard are kind of the ones that are more eye opening. We last episode,
I'm targeting both of them.
Yeah,
in my McDavid trade.
Yeah, in the most recent News and Would You Rathers, we chose Bedard over Necas, but Kevin chose Necas. So like just to say that even someone like that, they are in the same ballpark, and
yeah, but
Necas doesn't
Kevin
have
also
the
chose
name,
Greaves
so.
over Sorokin. So
yeah, okay. What a guy.
We are not defined by our worst moments.
All right.
I also think Greaves is going to be sick rest of season, but
yeah. He'll be good.
The plural of Elvi is really coming to ruin.
I think Elvi would be the plural.
Yeah, Elvi would be the plural. Probably.
Yeah,
So what's the singular of Elvis?
Elvis is the singular.
Many Elvises would be Elvi.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if Elvis Presley and Bruce Lakins are in the same room, if they're Elvi.
LV?
Yeah.
Sure.
LV?
Let's wrap this up.
All right. Thank you to everybody for listening to our Week 18 Buy Low, Sell High episode. If you enjoyed the show, give it a like on YouTube, a 5-star rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube, and then also follow the channel on Spotify, and join the Discord community. It's in the link in the podcast description, and be sure to follow the socials as well. Ernie, take it away.
Bow, Banger Management Fantasy Hockey Podcast. Woo!
Whoa.
I feel violated.
Why did you stroke
Whoa.
your
I didn't stroke and I held it.
It looks like you just discovered something really cool, but woo. But still. Whoa.
You'll have to watch our YouTube for that.
Yeah.
Moving on.